Here's a shocking truth about India's construction industry. We are building like it's 1950 while the world has moved to 2024. Only 2% of our construction uses precast technology. China uses 80%. Singapore uses 70%. Even countries with smaller economies than ours are building faster, cheaper, and better. But here's what the government doesn't want traditional builders to know. This 2% is about to become 50% in the next decade, and most contractors will be left behind. Remember the Delhi Metro Phase 3 extension that was supposed to finish in 2018? It was still under construction in 2024. The contractor blamed monsoons, labor shortages, and material delays. But the real problem was deeper. They were using the same construction methods that worked in the 1970s for a project that demanded 2020's efficiency. Weather dependency is bleeding contractors dry across India. Every construction site becomes a graveyard during monsoon season. Work stops for 3 to 4 months. Concrete curing gets delayed. Steel rusts. Scaffolding collapses. Your fixed costs keep running while revenue stops completely. This isn't just inconvenience, it's financial suicide. The numbers are brutal. Monsoons add 30 to 40% to project timelines. A 12-month project becomes 18 months. A 24-month project stretches to 36 months. Every delayed month means paying site rent, equipment costs, and salaries with zero progress. Contractors lose 15 to 25 lakhs per month on medium-sized projects, just waiting for the weather to improve. The labor crisis makes everything worse. Skilled masons are disappearing. Young workers don't want construction jobs. The ones available demand higher wages but deliver lower quality work. You're forced to choose between missing deadlines or accepting substandard construction. Neither choice protects your reputation or profit margins. Quality control becomes impossible with traditional methods. Concrete curing happens on site with inconsistent water ratios. Curing depends on weather conditions you can't control. Steel placement varies based on individual worker skills. Every structural element becomes a gamble. The Noida building collapse in 2022 killed 16 people because of poor concrete mixing and inadequate steel reinforcement. These failures don't just cost money, they destroy lives and careers. Material wastage reaches shocking levels on traditional sites. Cement bags get damaged by rain, steel bars get cut incorrectly and wasted, concrete gets mixed in the wrong proportions and discarded. Industry study shows that 15 to 20% material wastage is normal in traditional construction. Precast factories achieve 2 to 3% wastage because everything happens in a controlled condition. These hidden costs compound rapidly. A contractor budgets 2 crore for a project, monsoon delays add 40 lakhs, material wastage costs 30 lakhs, labor shortages force overtime payments of 25 lakhs, quality failures require reconstruction worth 50 lakhs. The 2 crore project suddenly costs 3 to 4 crores. Your project becomes a massive loss. This pattern keeps repeating across thousands of construction sites daily. Small contractors go bankrupt. Medium contractors stop bidding on government projects. Large contractors lose their competitive advantage to companies using modern methods. Government agencies have noticed these systematic failures. They're quietly changing tender requirements to favor contractors with advanced construction capabilities. The writing is on the wall. Traditional methods are becoming obsolete, and smart contractors are already exploring revolutionary alternatives that eliminate these costly problems completely. The Indian government is orchestrating the largest construction industry transformation in our nation's history, and contractors have no idea what's coming. Behind closed doors, policymakers are rewriting the rules of how infrastructure gets built in India. The National Highways Authority of India already mandates 25% precast concrete use in all new highway projects. This isn't a suggestion or recommendation, it's a binding requirement that contractors must meet to qualify for bidding. Projects worth thousands of crores now require precast capabilities before you can even submit a tender. This highway mandate represents just the opening move in a much larger strategy. Railway infrastructure projects will adopt similar precast requirements within the next 18 months. Airport expansion contracts will follow by 2025, which is now. Metro rail systems across two-tier cities are already incorporating precast mandates into their tender documents. The government is systematically making precast technology mandatory across every major infrastructure category. The market numbers reveal the scale of this transformation. India's precast concrete market reached $6.16 billion in 2023. Industry projections show that this market will be expanding to $11.33 billion by 2030. That represents 9.2% annual growth, driven entirely by government infrastructure spending and housing development programs. Contractors with precast capabilities are already capitalizing on this shift. Shapoorji Palonji secured a 2,400 crore metro rail contract in Bombay specifically because of their precast manufacturing capacity. L&T won multiple highway projects worth 8,000 crores by demonstrating integrated precast solutions. These companies aren't just winning individual projects. They're securing 5 to 10 years framework agreements that guarantee consistent revenue streams. The Housing for All scheme makes precast adoption inevitable rather than optional. The government committed to building 20 million houses for urban populations. Traditional methods cannot deliver this volume within acceptable timeframes. Precast technology becomes the only viable solution for meeting these massive housing targets while maintaining quality standards and cost control. This creates a stark division in contractor community. Companies with precast capabilities qualify for government mega projects worth hundreds of crores. Companies without precast capabilities get excluded from the bidding process entirely. Tender documents now specify precast experience as a mandatory qualification criterion, not a preferred advantage. Early adopters are locking in competitive advantages that will last for decades. They are establishing precast manufacturing facilities, training specialized workforces, and building relationships with government agencies before the market becomes saturated with competitors. Their head start translates into better profit margins, longer contract durations, and preferential treatment in future tenders. The transformation timeline is accelerating rapidly. Government agencies want precast adoption completed within 24 months for major infrastructure categories. Contractors who delay their precast transition risk permanent exclusion from the most lucrative construction opportunities in Indian history. Yet, despite these clear government signals and obvious market advantages, 98% of Indian contractors continue operating with traditional methods, seemingly unaware that their business model has an expiration date. The biggest obstacle isn't technology or equipment. It's the mental barrier that precast construction requires completely different thinking from traditional methods. Contractors who build successful businesses using labor intensive approaches struggle to embrace factory based construction models that demand precision, planning, and systematic execution. Initial investment costs create the most visible barrier. Setting up a manufacturing plant requires 5 to 15 CR for basic facility. Machinery imports add another 8 to 12 crores. More fabrication costs 50 lakhs to 2 crores. Depending on the project complexity, these numbers terrify contractors accustomed to starting projects with minimal upfront investment. Traditional construction lets you begin work with basic equipment and hire labor as needed. Precast demands significant capital commitment before producing a single element. Transportation logistics make precast seem impossible across India's infrastructure. Moving 40-ton precast beams requires specialized trailers and route planning. Highway restrictions limit movement during specific hours. Weight limitations force contractors to break elements into smaller pieces, eliminating the efficiency advantage. Transportation costs 15 to 20% to the total project expenses when plants are located more than 200 kilometers from the construction sites. The skills gap runs deeper than most contractors realize. 90% of Indian construction workers have never handled precast elements. They don't understand the lifting procedures, connection methods, or quality standards. Existing foremen lack experience managing precast assembly sequences. Engineers trained in traditional methods struggle with precast design principles and coordination requirements. By the way, to let you know, that most of the workers who work outside India and the Middle East and other places across Europe and Australia are all Indians and they can be trained. Additionally, building codes also create confusion and hesitation throughout the industry. Different states maintain separate precast standards. Municipal authorities lack standardized approval processes for precast designs. Bureau of Indian Standards provides limited guidance on precast construction practices. This fragmentation forces contractors to navigate multiple regulatory frameworks for a single project, adding months to approval timelines. Perception problems persist despite successful international examples. Many view precast as inferior to cast-in-place concrete because early Indian precast projects used outdated technology and poor quality control. Traditional construction appears more flexible because changes can be made during execution. Precast seems rigid because modifications require returning to manufacturing facilities. These barriers create tremendous opportunities for early movers. Limited competition means higher profit margins on government contracts. Clients pay premium prices for reliable precast contractors. Long-term contracts provide revenue stability traditional contractors never experience. Indian companies have already overcome these exact challenges. Tata Projects established precast capabilities across multiple manufacturing locations. Ultratech Cement integrated precast production with their concrete business. Larsen and Toubro built specialized precast divisions serving infrastructure and housing markets. These companies did have some special advantage. They invested in proper training, systematic planning, and gradual capacity building. Specialized training and support systems eliminate most barriers within 6 to 12 months. Structured programs teach design principles, manufacturing processes, and construction methods. Technical partnerships provide access to proven technologies and quality systems. Forward-thinking contractors are already building their precast capabilities through strategic partnerships, workforce training, and phased facility development rather than waiting for the perfect condition that will never arrive. The construction industry transformation is happening right now. The next 24 months will separate contractors who thrive from those who are obsolete. L&T already demonstrated this potential with their Mission 96 project in Navi Mumbai, constructing a 12-story residential building in just 96 days. That's 96 flats in 96 days using precast methods. Contractors must assess their precast readiness immediately. So, connect with Modular Pulse for specialized training programs and technical support that eliminate traditional barriers. Our expertise spans across helping you set up precast factories, helping you with the workforce development and project development as well, across India, Middle East, and the USA. While 98% of contractors continue building like it's 1950, the small 2% are already securing India's construction future through precast concrete adoption. Subscribe to our channel if you are somebody who is interested in precast concrete technology, and check out our links below to see how you can work with us.